Are you tired of warlocks having all the fun with fusion grenades? Do you want to throw in limited overpower fusion grenades that create a fire sprite and an orb of power every kill? Then listen up, my fellow titans, this is the build for you. For the low price of 100,000 glimmer, you too can have a blast. Okay, so to put it simply, we're going to be running an Ashen Wake based build that not only runs amazing in PvE, but will also allow you to destroy in PvP. In case you're not aware of the Ashen Wake, it makes your fusion grenades detonate on impact with increased throw speed, and final blows with fusion grenades will grant you a chunk of grenade energy. Let's go ahead and break down the subclass. Obviously for our fusion grenade build, we're going to be using Solar, but your barricade, jump, and melee are totally up to you. Allow yourself to flex them around and choose whatever is best for whatever activity you're running. And obviously for grenade, we're going to be going with the fusion grenade. It's the crown jewel of this build. I'm going to quickly go over all of the fragments and aspects. Stick around if you haven't seen the new changes Lightfall brought to these, and if you have seen them, just jump to the timestamp on screen. For aspects, we have Soul Invictus, so that your solar ability final blows and defeating Scorch targets creates sunspots. Your abilities will regenerate faster and your super drains slower while standing in a sunspot. Then we have Roaring Flames, which allows your final blows with solar abilities or ignitions to increase the damage of your solar abilities. It'll stack up to 3 times. And for the fragments, first we have Ember of Tempering, making solar weapon final blows grant you and your allies increased recovery for a short duration. And while this Ember is active, solar weapon final blows will create a fire sprite. Next we have Ember of Blistering, so defeating targets with solar ignitions will grant you grenade energy. And then we have Ember of Searing, in which defeating Scorch targets grants melee energy and creates a fire sprite. Last we have Ember of Ash, which is going to give you more Scorch stacks. And I'm sure you can see where this is all going to come together, but let's take a quick look at the mods we're going to be using so you can see the full picture. There we go. As you can see, we have tons and tons of grenade-based mods, as no surprise to anyone. With all these mods, you're going to be getting grenade energy back every throw, grenade energy back when you cast barricade, tons of super energy every grenade kill, and not only generate an orb of power when you get a grenade kill, but you will also get grenade energy back from that kill. And that's all just from mod. So on top of your subclass build, you're going to have near infinite grenades with insane damage. And your weapons will be totally up to you as long as you have a solar weapon in your energy slot to take advantage of Ember of Tempering to create that extra fire sprites. I'm going to recommend either Callous Mini Tool or Sunshot. Both are a blast, but any solar will do totally fine. Oh, and the dim loadout for this will be linked below. Let's talk about how it plays in PvE. While I talk about PvE, I'm going to create a little zoom in on my ability corner so you can see the uptime on my grenades and how quickly I can get a super. In PvE, this is no sleeper build or a secret build by any means. This is just a fucking monster, a gremlin, all around a top tier build. Watching the gameplay might even be slightly confusing because of how many kabooms and kapows are going off constantly. Let's take a look at the steps you'll need to take to set this build up for the most damage and uptime. Number 1, you're going to throw a grenade and kill an enemy to get buffed. Then number 2, okay, so we're going to throw a grenade and kill an enemy to get buffed. For number 3, we're going to throw a grenade, we're going to kill an enemy, and then we're going to get buffed. And number 4, we're going to pop super to kill any and all enemies, and once that's finished, we'll probably throw a grenade and kill an enemy, and then probably get buffed. I've run this build in Solar Surges all week, and it makes higher end content as cake as it gets. You will apply 60 Scorch stacks with one single grenade, 40 without Ember of Ash, and you need 100 to ignite an enemy. So if you run into a major or mini boss that you cannot take down with one grenade, try to get that second one as quickly as possible so you get that ignite explosion. But any red and yellow bar is pretty much ash by the time you look at them with this build. The Scorch stacks won't even matter, they'll just be evaporated by the grenade instantly. And with actual bosses, you can hit for some pretty good damage. Sure, it'll mess up your flow because you won't get that percentage-based energy back, but during a DPS phase, it's worth throwing out every so often. Anytime you don't have a grenade ready to charge, which is not that often, you can easily use your solar weapon and trigger your Ember of Tempering to create a fire sprite for that grenade energy, or even pop a barricade. As I mentioned earlier, the Callous Mini Tool is the perfect candidate because rolling with Incandescent to add more solar explosions and Scorch is going to be amazing. But then again, any solar weapon is going to strive in this build. Okay, that's enough about it in PvE because I'm not sure I can make it sound any more enticing than the fact you get infinite kaboomies and kablamos. So let's go ahead and talk about its PvP usage. Believe it or not, this is totally usable in PvP and it's actually quite good. The fact is, you'll get extremely fast grenades that can have a stacking damage boost and hit multiple guardians at once. I've been using this build with Sunshot and I'm having one hell of a time. I've literally nicknamed this build the Randy Johnson because what's more fun than throwing 109-mile-an-hour heaters right at other guardians and watching them combust? And that's the gist of what you're going to be doing constantly to other Guardians. With the ability to create this long chain of back-to-back kills on Guardians because of Roaring Flames and full grenade energy back on Guardian kills. I repeat, full energy back on Guardian kills. So if you have the chance to weaken them first and throw a grenade for that guaranteed kill to proc Roaring Flames, you're going to be in for a treat. The Scorch damage from just hitting them will even allow for a chance to quickly take advantage of the enemy. And if you're more of the primary Connect type, you have a Fellwinter's Lie you can use to splash your enemy to spawn the fire sprite right in front of you and gain restoration. All around, it'll treat you extremely well in PvP if you're tired of being an SMG or melee abuser. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and if you are a fan of this video, there is no doubt in my mind you'll like my others. YouTube actually handpicked that video on the left for you because they knew you would like it so much. See ya!